And you are back on the Tortoise and Hare Experience. I'm very excited for this experience because we have Patrick Stone from Budderside on today. And he's been on the show a few times. And anytime I always get, I guess, a regular to come back in, I'm always like, what's wrong with you? You've already...
You know how this goes.
Yeah, you know how this goes. Why would you come back? So I'm just excited that you decided to come. Yeah.
Come on.
Kidding? Good times. Good hangs.
Woo.
Yeah, so I'm super excited that you're here. We have a lot to get to, but we just heard the song Open Relationship by Budderside. Very interesting, only because I actually recently found out that somebody that I know is in an open relationship.
We talked about this last time I was on. You asked me about it, and I was in a relationship. So
right.
I couldn't really divulge my true deepest, darkest opinions.
But, but now you can.
Now I could do it over.
Well, he wrote a song about it, so yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that makes two people then. Then I knew you, and then somebody. Well,
so
again,
how's that working out for him?
Dude, great.
Yeah.
Great. They're getting married, but I think they're still gonna keep the open relationship.
Yeah. Are they porn stars?
Open, practically. You know what I mean?
I mean, because that's
They're just normal people.
Like,
and
I never got that. You see like an interview with like Gina Jameson or something, and she's like, "Yeah, I just got married or whatever," and then she's like, on set later that day, and he's,
Well,
but that's work. That's work,
and
it is. It's I guess, but it's
a different mentality.
I don't know. It's hard for a lot of people to separate the two. I mean,
you have to be accepting of that.
Right. The trick is to say it first, and make that commitment with somebody, and then like when it happens, then you just have to sit there because you told them that it was okay, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, this is happening, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm okay with this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend, God, I don't remember, Nikki Sin. I think she was my first friend that was a porn star, and her husband would come over, and this was back when I had a drug den over in Silver Lake, and he would hang out for days on end, and she'd go off to work, and she'd come back, and we'd sit there talking all day because we're doing all kinds of drugs, but he was totally cool with it, very supportive of her, would take her on vacations and then come back, and she'd go to work, and I was always just like, huh.
This is
very interesting.
How do I get some of this?
Yeah, how do you get some of this, right? Be cool, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Like me myself, I am a very I guess I'm and I've been working on this, but I think I'm a very like possessive person. So it's just like, well, it's like if I'm with you, I'm only with you, and you're only gonna be with me, type thing. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like there's.
Now, do you mean monogamous or possessive?
You know what? Maybe you know what? Maybe it's monogamy. That's the word that I'm actually looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're right.
We had this girl. Actually, I can't even talk about this.
Dude,
just don't name names.
Dude,
just say this girl.
Okay, let's put it like this.
There's no video, no audio. Trust me, it's just us.
Okay, I'm gonna say. Okay, so there was this girl who walked up to me on our tour, and we're in the UK, and she walks up and she grabs my nuts,
Oh.
And she's like, and she was hideous. I mean, and I hope she doesn't see this. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about this, but she's just like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I was just like, first thing that popped in my head was, I'm married, and she's like, monogamy's for whatever, idiots or something.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know why this whole thing popped into my head, but the word monogamy, but yeah, I don't know, man. I've been thinking about now that I'm out of a relationship, you think about being in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in a relationship, if it's not working, of course, you're just trying to figure out how to get out of it or how to make it work and why isn't it working and God, this sucks, it sucks. But then you're alone and then you're like, I sure wouldn't mind, somebody to just chill out with,
Yeah.
Just somebody to cuddle with.
Yeah,
It's
not too much to ask somebody to be faithful and exclusive with, as long as they're the bomb. Don't settle for somebody that's not the bomb to you, and then you won't have that problem. But sometimes super bomb people, like, you can't cage those people, so it's like, let them be free. and if you give them that freedom and they have to reciprocate, and then you can have fun too.
Well, yeah. It's all about having an open and frank discussion and being true to your word.
True.
Because if you tell somebody it's okay if you do that and then you get upset with them, then that's a bad thing. Then that's, you have to
Right.
trust, So the way that you should do it, because I'm going to give you tips on open relationship right now. Not that I know,
Right.
but this is how you do it. So, Turtle,
Okay.
say for instance, you have a girl.
Right.
Right.
That's
First off,
extreme.
Miracle.
Right. Miracle. Okay. Love it.
And she's got like a little something on the side. You just say, "Hey babe, if you're going to be with somebody, send me a picture of them first. Let me okay it. Let me see who this is, and be a part of it." And then there has to be rules that go with that. No paying for it. No throwing it in your face. No telling like your friends and having them like give you a
Discretion.
hard time about it. And no bringing it home unless it's mutually discussed
Right.
and agreed upon. Right?
That's yeah.
I mean,
In a perfect world.
Yeah.
Perfect
Thank
world,
you.
right?
Thank you.
I'm
In
just
a perfect
saying,
world.
in a perfect world, that's how it would
But
be.
for me, again, a lot of it has to do with not necessarily trust, but just like STDs or whatever. Like you're out,
Yeah, for sure.
she's out or banging around
Oh,
other
no.
guys. I'm just like,
mean,
dude, like
that-
I'm like, I'm not gonna do
It's
you
just- but she's not going to be
because you're doing other
stupid.
people.
But why would they have to be stupid? Why wouldn't
I don't know.
she
I just
I mean,
I get like I'm not one of those like people that are what are they called that are like that are germaphobes or anything like that. Not that I'm that. I'm just a very cautious person, and I'm trying to extend my life as long as
Yeah,
possible.
you gotta
I'm
be
not trying
careful,
to.
man. Rule number one. It's like that will screw up your life forever.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, if you've ever been in the face of like, oh my God, like, and you've even thought about it being possible, like my mind takes me to like, where would I go if I actually came out with something or found out I actually picked something up from some chick,
Yeah.
I'm like, my train of thought takes me to like
Exactly.
left turn right in the middle divider of the freeway and like end it because I don't want to have to tell somebody that or just have to live with that. Like, being free and being able to love whoever you fall in love with is like the prized possessions of life. So it's like to sacrifice that just because, you don't talk about something beforehand, which is an easy mistake. People make the mistake all the time. A lot of people are walking around with problems. So
Right.
all the more reason. In fact, I asked Max if I should bring condoms to the show today.
Yeah. Well, of
And she
course.
said, let me check with Turtle.
Like, yeah, of course. Of course you should. You should always
Yeah.
bring condoms to the show.
My friend April gave me a big box of condoms, and they're Star Wars condoms. So
Oh, you
each
should have
one
brought
is,
those.
Each one is, different colors and sizes, and
Wow.
I'd have gotten the Yoda one.
right? They all have like little slogans on them too. Like
That's cool.
little Star
Oh, you
Wars
should have.
slogans, Yeah,
That'd have been cool.
it's hard to incorporate the Star Wars vibe into the bedroom, right?
I don't know.
Sometimes you get a little luck, like you get a Princess Leia kind of an outfit
Yeah.
kind of a thing going on. You get
Yeah.
her in there, but
The slave. The slave
But then
outfit,
you've
fuck
got
yeah.
like Yoda and it says, "Love it, you will."
yeah,
Yeah, well,
That
she
was my
will.
Yoda impression.
it was very, very,
Thanks.
very good. Yeah.
Keep on working on it.
Shut up.
Uh,
No.
but you know what? It was funny because like I'm on the dating app scene and stuff like that. Granted, it hasn't worked out for me, but I'm
Not
on
once? You haven't gone on one
No,
single?
not on
Wow.
one in like years, decades. I want to say it's.
Are you swiping?
Yeah. It just
Like Tinder.
I know
I'm on two different ones, but one of them, only one of them, I was able to have a conversation with a girl for about a month, but it just never went anywhere. We just became, I guess, they call them pen pals. We just became pen pals, and she just was not interested. I'm not saying I was like a drunken like swipe or anything like that, but it just, again, I don't know. My look is just extremely particular, I guess.
I think you'd have a lot of luck as long as you're honest with your profiles. I tried these things like years back. I tried a run at app dating or whatever. And the girls, or at least the ones I've run into, everybody's lying. It's like I weigh this much and I'm this height and I'm into these things, and then you meet them and they're not any of those things.
Every girl is into traveling. Of course, you're into traveling.
Right.
I'd be into traveling too if I had money.
Right.
But how does that work out for a rock star?
I mean, like I said, it was a very short stint, like maybe 3 or 4
Your picture comes
dates.
up and they're gonna go, "What does Patrick Stone?"
Right. That's the other thing. It's a little shameful, But it's like, you're single and you're lonely and you don't have time to date anyone. I mean, I was kind of in an in-between phase there. It was a few years ago, but yeah, I was just like, I just need to occupy my time with chicks, because it's a
great way to occupy time.
Yeah, right.
It's a great way.
I guess I didn't have enough going on otherwise, and I was like, bored or whatever. But it's like, I filled up every week with like, you had a date. You know what I mean? It's like, well, one of them work out, but they don't work out because they're,
it's date roulette.
I don't know. I feel like it's best to meet somebody organically or through a friend or something like that or whatever. The universe has in store for you, like. But you do got to put yourself out there, whether it's on an app or something.
Yeah,
you got to try.
I think part of like putting yourself out there on an app.
Not you. They're just knocking at your door all day long. Hey,
that's not even true.
They're all saying interview me, but what they're actually saying is, now I know where you live.
I've been in your bedroom and in your kitchen.
But people don't know that we actually record here.
Right. This is the most elaborate set that has ever been created to make it look.
This is balsa wood.
Yeah. But
you can't get balsa wood. Just to get on that for a second, you can't find balsa wood anywhere. Because I needed it for a stunt, like a few months ago, where I had to kick down a door, and we couldn't find the balsa wood.
Home Depot, no?
No balsa wood.
Interesting.
I know. All right, go on.
So where was I? So
people kept building things and they just kept falling down. They just get sued. Home Depot sold me this crap wood.
No more balsa for you.
So I was anyway. So I was doing these dating apps. No luck. But as I was doing them, I noticed that that I every now and then I'd get a girl. But I mean, I wouldn't get her, but I'd just be like swiping or whatever, and then I'd be reading their stuff, and then they'd be like, "Oh, I'm in an open relationship," and those, I would always be like, "Fuck, I really would love to like swipe right," because they're more apt to like dating, because they're goers, obviously. But then I'm like,
so no, wait, explain to me. Right is good and left is bad.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Again,
That's way.
I literally saw the Family Guy episode where they were doing Tinder, and I was like, Tinder? I was like, no, I better not.
Ash Alvinson has a film about it, and
probably like a scary movie film.
No, it was funny. It was a funny film.
So, but as I'm doing this, I noticed that there's these girls that are in open relationships, and I was just like, man, what are these girls doing on here? Like, but of course, I'm always thinking from the guy's point of view. Like, I'm like, in a generality, like guys are kind of dogs. You know what I mean? So it's just like, well, a lot of guys are not going to care. If anything, they see a girl in an open relationship, they're like, all right, cool. Like, I don't mind, whatever. But I guess I'm too monogamous, so I'm just like, oh, I can't do that. So I had an idea, and I was like, man, why don't these people why isn't there just an app for people that just want to be in open relationships? That would be the best.
Yeah, it's like called Snapfuck or whatever.
Snapfuck, yes.
Snapchat.
By the way, no, Snapfuck is way better.
It's a thing?
Yeah, so I went and I reached, I got a developer who was going to start developing with me this app. We didn't know what to call it yet. We were still trying to figure it out. And she's like, yeah, because she like does all the dating too or whatever. She's like, yeah, you're right. She's like, I always see all these people, and she's like, I get grossed out because she's like, I don't want to, do this or that. And so then I started doing more research, And then there's already like 4 or 5 apps out there that just cater to people in open relationships.
Yeah, I mean, people are dying to hook up.
Yeah, and I'm just
But
like,
I'm scared of who I would meet on something like that.
Yuck.
You know what I mean?
there's this one though that
It's
had
like you
it.
show up at their house or whatever, and it's like you gotta say no, like, and turn around and leave, and you're
Yeah.
gonna feel a lot worse than you did before. And if you go through with it, it's like, whoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is true, yeah. But there was this one app that like was far superior than anything that I thought of, and this app had like everybody on that app had to get tested like all the time. So I was just like, oh,
So it's
that's
like a porn app.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Because I
That's
know
horrible.
the porn stars get tested every like 12 days or something.
Should be every time they do it, right?
Well, I think it won't come out. I don't know. I used to have a roommate that was a porn star.
Yeah.
So
One of my best friends just got like 3 awards, man. So
Yeah?
excited for him. I call him any day at like noon. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, just finished my 3rd scene of the day. I'm
Damn.
like, fuck,
gross.
lunatic, badass. He sends me pictures. This one, this one, this one, this one. I'm like, damn, boy, you go, man.
Have a good time with that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
well, you're young. Do it while you're young. So anyway, so it was just hilarious. Not hilarious. It was just interesting to dive into that world and see the niche that is the open relationship. And I thought it was interesting. We started it off with an open relationship, the song,
I know, right? And here's this
And-
whole conversation.
yeah.
You know what? The song, though, deeply I was massively and completely and totally head over heels in love with somebody. And it was super scary because she was incredibly hot. And I felt like, I don't know what I was, but I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't make that commitment quite yet, or was afraid to make that commitment. And the only way that I could kind of be with her was to kind of, I don't know, I just kind of started thinking about what it would be like to be in an open relationship, because I didn't want to cage her either. I mean, she, an aspiring, she just so many things she wanted from life, and like, I couldn't give her everything, at least, or maybe if I couldn't, I would want her to get everything that she wanted from life, and I didn't want to hold her back or whatever. But yeah, I mean, being completely and totally in love with somebody, if you really do love them, then you need to give them the freedom to do whatever it is that they want to do, and then if they do that and you don't love them after that, then you didn't really love them at all.
You're just in lust with them.
Something. But it was really just trying to develop that whole kind of that mentality of like, am I cool with it? Like, I was asking myself the question, am I cool with that? And it's like, if we're going to be in a relationship and she's going to be seeing other people, and I'm going to be in the relationship and I'm going to be seeing other people, well, then that's what it actually is. It's an open relationship. And I don't think we'd ever really had that conversation. It was just kind of like we hadn't had the exclusive conversation yet. So I was kind of putting my head around that, and then out came this freaking wonderful song. Just melodies started flying in, and I was like, whoa, cool. And then the coolest songs just kind of come and they slap you in the face, and then the next
Right.
day they're done, and you're like, what did I just say?
Right?
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
I like
how
that.
wise, or how perceptive, but yeah, that turned into a very exclusive relationship for a while. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And what happened? I mean, is that diving too much? It seemed like it
Tell us
was
the
cool.
details.
I mean, why did it have to end? Was it just because of touring? Was it
Long
just-
story. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, no. This is the place to tell the story.
I mean, we have a long format. I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's cool.
Relationships are tough,
No, they're not.
Good. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's the. I thought it was so meant to be, and I thought she did too. And years down the road, yeah, there's touring involved. I'm gone. That adds to stress, but you got to trust the person you're with, and I don't think the element of trust was there. I tried to be as trusting as I could, and she'll argue that, of course, but again, I give free rein to do whatever you want. I'm going to love you no matter what, as long as you come to me and talk to me about it. But a lot of stories built up in her head, and she believed certain things, and I couldn't prove that they weren't true, and she decided to believe those things, and it drove me freaking crazy. So
See,
Wow.
that's
You
where
know.
where it lies. It's all trust issues. It's like, you remember those games when you were young where you would fall back onto somebody, and they either catch you or they don't, but it's all how you trust them. And it's the
Oh
same
yeah, the
with
game, of course. Yeah, yeah.
It's the same with a relationship, Like when I do stunts, I have to trust that my team is not going to let me die. If I'm on a wire, then I have to trust that the rigger did this properly, that I won't die. And when I was married, because I was married for 20 years, I trusted that he was going to cheat on me all the freaking time. Story of my life. Anyway, that was a joke.
Yes.
It's a joke. These are the jokes, Turtle.
Okay.
Follow along. I thought you were going to do stand-up. What happened to you doing stand-up?
I am doing stand-up. I still do stand-up, not as much as I'd like to. Although, again, all that's going to change, I think, pretty soon. I haven't had time. Here's the thing with like stand-up is you need time to work out material, and you need time to actually just go up on stage. Part of my life for the past 3 or 4 years is I had a job which didn't really allow me to do that. But now here's the thing. I don't know if I painted myself into a corner or I just got put in a corner.
Nobody puts Turtle in the
Nobody.
corner.
Well, I did for like 3 or 4 years. But here's the thing. Like when I commit to whether it's a job or whatever, I put everything in it. And when I ask, and the thing is like this job, I'm a closer, so I'm the last person to leave to make sure everything's stocked, everything's just ready for the next morning. So I don't get out till 10:30, 11 o'clock, maybe even midnight sometimes. That's just the life that I accepted, the life that I chose. And it took a burden on me because the things that I wanted to do are always at night. And it's just like, I can't go after midnight. I'm like always like Max would invite me to something. And I'm like, Max, I'm just leaving my job. I can be there after midnight or 12:30 and she'll be at a bar or whatever. Right. And I'm like, by the time I get there,
Not
it's
drinking.
Yeah. But by the time I get there, it's like 12:30, almost 1. And then by the time I leave, it's like, I'm only there for an hour, so I'm just like, and then I got to drive back home, just to get ready for work the next day. So it's, it was very not conducive to my life. And again, like, I don't know how you are with things, but like, I never took time off from that because I said like, look, like, I'm going to do this job. And I'm only in my only like thing that I did was if I'm going to take time off from this job, or if I'm going to say, hey, I need these days off, were days that either I was filming a webisode or I got a photography gig, or every now and then I'd actually get a stand-up gig and I'd go and I'd do stand-up. So those were the only times that I allowed myself to go there, because again, the job that I do, a lot of people don't like to do it, which is why I had the job. So, but now I just put in my 2-week notice, because when I got this job, I was like, look, when I started 4 years ago, I gave myself 4 years. I don't know if you've ever done this or not in your life, where you give yourself a timeline of whatever you're working on, and you say, this is it. Like, I'm only going to give myself this amount of time to try to figure out my life, figure out what I'm going to do. And sure, well, you guys, I mean, again, this, I guess this is why I'm me. You know what I mean? Because
that's good though. I mean, it forces you to get your ass in gear.
Exactly. So 4 years is coming up, and I put in, I give them a month, because what I do again is like, so it takes away from everybody's life. And not that I was so good at it, but I was so OCD that their lives were just so perfect when I would leave, because it's just like, I always made sure everything was perfect for everybody. And so now they have to like start training people like, okay, this is like, because I held that for 4 years straight, so they didn't have to worry about that. They were able to worry about other things and get other things ready. Sure. So anyway, so I gave them a month. So in about 2 weeks, I'll be officially done there. And I'll have my life kind of like, now I can go, and if I want to do more comedy shows, more whatever, now I'm afforded that opportunity. So I started writing some more comedy, and what I came into was, and here's the premise for it, okay? And a lot of you probably go through this in your life, where as you get older, you're starting to think like, holy shit, I can't believe I made it this far. You know, like, fuck, I'm still alive and I don't know what to do about money. I lead a life in which I live paycheck to paycheck, but I'm trying to be a more responsible human being. I'm trying to be a more responsible person. So what I decided to do was to take whatever money I have and invest it. I mean, we all should do it. None of us really start thinking about the future until we start miraculously thinking that we lived this long. So, I was like, man, what do I do? I wanted to do the stock market because, I mean, everybody does the stock market. It seems like a valuable thing, but I know nothing about the stock market. I don't know anything about the NASDAQ. I don't even know what a NASDAQ is. I know nothing about Dow Jones. I just see these like little words, these little numbers and things, and no clue. So I don't want to do that, only because I don't have the time for that. So what I decided was, thinking about the future was future. And the thing about the future has always been technology. That is the go-to. So what I decided to do was starting investing in apps. So I'm developing an app called the Nap app. This app, you nap. So that's the joke that I have for right now. See, like,
that's the beginning of the joke.
Okay. I mean, no. I mean, the entire soliloquy of me, getting older and figuring out, like, oh my God, like, I can't believe I lived, and now I gotta, like, invest money because I'm getting older, and fuck, I gotta sort of think. I mean, all that is part of it, and it's all to draw you, because I mean, when I'm telling you this, I'm sure you guys are thinking like, fuck, like, I don't have anything saved or whatever, right? Or do we? I don't know, but like, or maybe you're thinking, oh, ha ha ha, Turtle, I do, but like, all that is making your brain start thinking towards kind of like what I'm thinking of. And so once that happens, and then I'm like, technology, and then you're like, yeah, you're right. I should be investing in it. And then I'm like, an app, and you're like, you know what? Apps are what's fucking hot. And then, when I get to the premise of the actual Nap app, that's where it's just like, okay, now that sounds like the most stupidest premise ever. But yet it's so stupid that it's going to make you laugh, because you're like, how the fuck is this?
That's funny.
Right. So that's where I'm stuck. It's like, I know this is a funny joke. I know it's a
You just
funny.
gotta keep working it.
I just got to keep.
You gotta keep writing. Yeah, like, it is like music, man. You just write, like, I have a gazillion ideas, and you just put them in your phone or write them down somewhere, and then it's like, one day you're working. Just the other day, man, I have this chorus of a song that's just like, dude, it's the chorus. It's the chorus. It's so awesome, and it's like, but where does it go?
Right.
And then it was like, after years, literally years, I'm working on something the other night, and I was like, it goes right here. And it just, I'm like, it's like the $1 million prize,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to hold on to all of them, and then one's going to pop out, but you accumulate all of those, and like, if you have 100 ideas for a joke, I mean, you could literally just get up there, and that's the thing. Comedy, it's like, you got to be, I mean, I kind of see it like, you just got to be really confident and then just spit the words out there, and then let it organically happen. It's like, that thought alone is enough to make people just crack up and think you're funny as all hell. And then you just kind of elaborate on that for a few seconds, and then go to your next idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, songs are the same way, Oh, let's do this little thing for a little while. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then watch, we're going to do this little thing for a little while. And people are like, oh, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. They laugh with you. It's good shit.
Yeah.
But I'm also sharing like my thought process with people and stuff like, like I think comedy for me is a lot of me actually hiding my true emotions, but bringing them out, like actually telling people, look, this is actually who I am as a person.
Yeah, the best comedians are that way. Mm-hmm. They put it all out there. It's like, I got one friend of mine who's got the craziest, I mean, I thought I really do have one of the craziest roller coaster life stories that I think have ever happened. I mean, there's like Jesus, there's me, and then there's this person I'm talking about. And her life is just like, what the, it's you couldn't make it up. And if you write it, people are going to lose their shit. And I'm like, you got to write this, or you got to get up and just talk about it, because like, I want to be your manager. Because just listening to your life stories, and it's not that they're funny. It's not that they're funny stories. It's like, they make you think. And then it's like, they're so, I don't want to say ridiculous, but they're to a normal person, they're ridiculous. And it makes you laugh. It's like, the irony, and it's just, how many times do you hear a horrific story, or when you're just watching somebody fall down and they're walking across the street, it's like, why is that funny? Like, you just hate shit, and for some reason it's funny, and it's like seeing somebody else's, to actually see them up there standing there talking about it would be, there's strength in that. So, but, and looking back, it's like some of the crazy shit is super funny, but like, you got to get up there and talk about it. You got to get up there and try it. And that's what being a comedian like really is, right?
Right.
Yeah, my friend Chad, this guy I went to when I first got sober. We both did this. It's like a life coaching kind of a retreat, and they go hardcore into like your life and like what made you who you are, and like you get up in front of everybody and you tell your stories and you face all of your fears, and it's like this huge metamorphosis of becoming who you really are, and it's very empowering, and like I feel like it changed my life forever. But one of the scenarios was that you had to face your deepest fears, and for me it was like I'm always been I don't want to be homeless. Like, I don't ever want to be that guy begging for money on the street, or going up to cars and knocking on windows and all that stuff. So I literally had to ditch all my clothes and go out on the streets and like try to earn money by just being a beggar. And then I threw in like not being able to talk to. But anyway, his biggest fear was being a comedian. He's like, I've always wanted to do it, but like I'm just so afraid. And like he literally, like, he didn't have anything written, but we drove him to a club one night, and to make him face this fear, we just threw him up on stage, and he started talking, and it's like, it was really funny, but the stories he was telling were horrifying stories. They're not things. It's like you have to share your deepest, darkest, life stories to resonate with people and get them to pay attention. Like, he's trying to share his story right now too. But yeah, music's the same way. You gotta dive deep and be honest and share that shit.
Yeah, that means
sharing.
I'm in the process of that. Just doing more of that. And again, like in like 2 weeks, like my life is gonna change 100%. I feel as far as like I have more time for things and stuff. But you know what? I found it really interesting that you don't set. Not that you should, but like you don't set time frames for certain things. Just like I was like how I did, and like how you're like, you need that to like, No,
I do. I definitely, like, if there's something that needs to get done for the group or whatever, and I feel like, if it's that thing that keeps slipping away from me, that thing that I keep pushing into the corner, like writing an album or doing a new album or something, like exactly this whole situation, it's like, fuck, I'm not ready for that. Like, but you never will be, or having kids or whatever. It's like, you never will be. It's like, so then yes, definitely set the date. And then you're like, okay, it's okay to push it back a little bit if like but that scares you enough into like starting to get the work done and everything else. But the reason I laughed when you brought that up is because, when I was a kid, it was like, I want to be a rock star. And if it doesn't happen by this age, fuck it, I'm never going to be anybody. And the whole world thinks the same way. I mean, I go talk to young people and shit like that, and they're like, you're doing what? Yeah, whatever. They don't care because, certain age. But it's like, man, I passed that age so fucking far before the shit actually kicked in, and it's like I just stopped paying attention to age, and it's like getting sober is like being reborn. So it's like I feel like I'm only 12 years old right now, and that's like the life I'm living. Like I seriously feel like that childlike enthusiasm and way of looking at the world is this like. I wasn't born until I got sober, but I didn't get sober until after I told myself when I was a kid that you'd have to give up by that time. But it's like, then it's like things start to happen, and now I look back and I go, God, thank God I didn't like give up when I told myself I was going to when I was a kid. You're not that wise when you're a kid, so you can't really set the, don't be surprised if like, the limitations you set for yourselves can be broken in a day's, in the blink of an eye.
Right.
It's like everything changes. Like anything is possible. It really is. It is.
Cool.
I'm excited for you, man.
Thanks.
Quit that freaking job and get to it, because
About time.
Yeah, you belong up there, man.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you have this show. Every time I come on the show, you get off on a rant. I'm like, this is just fucking, you're interesting. There's a reason Max is working with you for this long. You have a show. It's like people love to listen to you. They relate to you. So
Yeah.
That's the
relate to this dog.
yeah. That's the human condition, though, man. We got to relate to each other. You can't just sit inside and do nothing all day. Got to get out there and share your story.
Yeah. Share the life.
Yeah.
I'm sharing this life with my dog.
Yeah.
Who is so mad that I'm sitting down. He just doesn't want me to sit.
Here's the thing. Like, he was fine, like, all day.
I know. He's
All day.
like, come on, it's Patrick Stone. I want to play.
Yeah.
Well, again, you know what? I think a little bit has to do with Patrick because, like, when we had everybody else in, Patrick was, with Arrow the entire time, just like entertaining.
See, it's you he wants. He doesn't want
I got him all riled up. We were playing. She was running all. He was running all over the place.
It is always an experience.
Yeah, Patrick, I think we had this conversation, but have you ever had a dog or a pet or anything like that?
Oh, I love animals very much. I've had many dogs. I've had many cats. I don't have one now, and I like to blame it on not being allowed to at my apartment. But yeah, I don't know. It's heartbreaking when you lose one. They're.
He's just agreeing.
But yeah, no, I love animals. Yeah, love them.
Yeah, I've never had an animal pet or anything like that. I fantasize about it, but I don't know if I could.
I think he wants to be on the show.
He does.
I think he needs to be on the show. Come here.
I was thinking about getting like a fish or like I don't know, just something
I've had
like
fish.
something easy. I need to figure out what the easiest pet is. I was thinking about getting a cat, but like as I went on these dating sites like we were talking about earlier, a lot of girls have this thing for guys with cats. Like they're like, if you have a cat, I will not date you. So I'm just like, well, now I can't get a cat, So I'm like,
right, we need everything working in our favor and nothing against us. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love cats, but they're so independent, and then they run off. And I mean, for a while, I was just bouncing all over the place and leaving town or whatever. And it's like it's really hard to keep a pet when you bounce around so much. Some of my friends have dogs and they tour all the time and they pull it off somehow, but they miss them when they're gone. It's like their best friend and it's tough. But yeah, I'm a big dog guy. I like Rottweilers and German Shepherds and Dobermans. Big dogs are not that I haven't had small dogs too,
Right.
but
Well, he was supposed to be a teacup, and then I went out on tour, on the Make America Rock tour, and I came back 6 months later, and he's a teapot. It just grew, and he's not even supposed to be that size.
yeah, you can't. I mean, once you've got them, you just love them. It doesn't matter what size they are.
No, I love. He's a rescue from Mexico.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, we used to do. I was part of the Super Smiley Foundation. It was Smiley was a golden lab. My dear friend and attorney Kim Schwartz and his wife Megan, they spearheaded this movement for being aware of adoption and how wonderful it can be to adopt a pet, as opposed to purebred dogs or whatever. But yeah, we would go all over the state, and we would do these flash mobs, and it was really cool. I mean, it's now her dog is like the spokes dog for the USPCA, and she's accomplished a lot. She travels all over the country. It's
And you can adopt not only dogs and cats, but horses and elephants and dolphins even.
and children,
And children.
Yeah.
Yes.
little
And
animals,
turtles.
Yeah.
and turtles, and
Yeah,
hares.
somebody needs to adopt you.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that's the
talk
thing.
about favorite pets. You want to? Okay, let's get funny about it.
Yeah.
Talking about hares, rabbits have always been my favorite. I love rabbits. They're
Of
just,
course.
they're just the best. And I was doing a lot of heroin and a lot of drugs, and my best friend was my rabbit, Scooter. Right, this little guy. and we would hang out every day. I'd be alone a lot because I was a junkie, and I would hang out with this rabbit, and he was potty trained and house trained, and just me and him all the time. And I would wake up to get my breakfast, and I'd be going to the refrigerator, and he'd knock my feet out from under me, and he wanted something to eat too, and we would share breakfast together, and we would just hang out all the frickin' time. This me and this rabbit. And my other heroin addict friends would come over, and they'd be lying on my bed, and they'd be using the heroin, and then, I'd go in the other room, and I'd hear somebody screaming, "God damn it, I just smoked rabbit shit," Funny stuff would happen. But anyway, so one day I'm just sitting there with this rabbit, and I'm telepathically, communicating as I thought I was. I was really high. And, the rabbit was telling me, I'm in a, that it needed a friend, needed to, and I was like, man, this thing's never, it's a rabbit, fuck like a rabbit. So this thing's never had sex before. So like, what's the point of your existence? You're not living. What friend am I? What kind of friend am I? So I go
A friend that doesn't want 1,000 rabbits.
I didn't think that far ahead, okay? But I literally go down to the shop, the pet store, and before I knew it, this silly idea just turned on me because, you bring the little girl rabbit home and you put him down, and it's 2 seconds later that he's on the floor, just completely fulfilled and completely drained of all rabbit fluid. And then he's back up 2 seconds later. And have you ever seen rabbits? Actually, it's pretty something to see.
Really?
Yeah.
But anyway, so 3 months later or whatever, I had 14.
Holy cow.
I got it. Come here. We're talking about it. Come here. Now
We're dog whispering.
Right. How many pets have you had, Max?
trying to get the dog
I've
on the
had
show.
lots of pets. I'm a big fish person. And I had a bunny. I had a bunny.
All right, I think I got the way to shut him.
Oh,
I got
okay.
him. He'll be quiet.
Patrick's doing it. He's got it.
All right.
See, Arrow had a little girl dog here for a while. This little black Pomeranian named Harley Quinn. And he was all excited about Harley Quinn being here. And they were doing the same thing. They're just walking around, like having sex all over the place. And then she went away, and he's not been happy. He's very unhappy about it. So now he's going to disturb the show because he wants a girl.
Yeah, he wants a lover.
Yeah.
We all do.
He's in an open relationship, though,
Yeah, dogs are, right?
because he's got another one next door.
Yeah, they don't care.
He doesn't.
I was talking to somebody the other day about like can a dog be gay? Like, we kind of arrived at the conclusion that only human beings are, capable of really being homosexual, right?
I don't think so.
Have you
I
ever seen
think
a
I
dog like only into other male dogs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought dogs kind of just like do whatever they can. You don't care about that anymore.
No, he just wants attention. He just wants you to play with him. That's it. It's like, just pick me up.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Put her on. Come on. Come here.
Arrow.
Can you jump all the way up here? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Come on. We're very dog friendly.
Yeah.
We are a dog-friendly show.
Come.
We know this
Come.
around here.
I'm like almost too friendly with these dogs.
There's just, there's no quieting our lovely little dog. So who's in your band now?
We've got the wonderful Colin Reed on lead guitar. He's an instructor at MI, and he's played with Nick Menza from Megadeth. He's extremely talented. The Stone Man and Rich were both with me the last time we did an interview. And they've been my lifelong friends. So they're the three of us are really the triangle, the
Trifecta.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Colin has paid his dues definitely with us being out on the road for the last 9 months. We've been solid, opening for LA Guns, and we've gone to the UK and just touring like crazy. And now we're all writing together. We're going in with Jay Baumgartner. He's going to
Aw.
produce the new record. So we
Jay.
start recording on the 16th. And then we've got a huge European fall coming, or huge European fall
I hope
tour coming. So there's a lot more fun to be had. Yeah, a lot of great things. A lot of big doors have been opening for us, and Colin's been with us for those, and the other guys. We've all been together, praying and hoping and working hard to get those things to happen. And again, like, don't give up. You never. If you really just
See?
you can look at, like we were telling you, the other guy that was on the show, it's like you look back at some point, you're like, I'm way higher. It's like the top is closer now than the bottom.
Right.
So it's like, why would I ever turn back around? You know, there's good momentum and good energy, and yeah, it's killer. It's killer. So those four guys, yeah, just the four of us.
So we were talking about Michael Grant earlier, leaving LA Guns, and what happened to Johnny in your band?
Oh, Johnny quit. Really, he did us. You know, I wish him well. I don't want to say anything bad about him at all. I love that kid. I loved him so much, and that's why, I asked him to be in the band in the first place. But schedules get tight and things happen and girlfriends come or whatever, and for some reason some of us lose sight of what's important, and I don't when it comes to this band, and I don't feel like anybody in the band should be allowed to, and it just started kind of wearing on me that certain things were more important to him than what I thought were simple things like sound checks or shows but I'm a horrible boss, you know what I mean? I'm very, I act out at my band members like, it shouldn't be allowed sometimes. I'm a real dick, sometimes, but it's all for the greater good of where we're going, and some things need to be said sometimes, and other people aren't going to say it, and sometimes there's just too many opinions to go around, and one guy has to make up the mind of, the collective. So I'm the guy that's kind of on the phone sometimes saying, hey, no, it's bullshit. You got to be here when you've got to be here, and you can't do this, I guess I just told Johnny one too many times what he should be doing with his day, and he decided to tell me to fuck off. And at that point, I just saw that as a great opportunity to get somebody better and do better things. The band has flourished like mad since then. I mean, I'm not going to say it was thanks to him, but it's like you cut that cord off, and I feel like I think it's just when. It was actually a really trying time for me. It's like going through a breakup, a real bad breakup. Like a girl, like I have three girlfriends, and when you're in a band, you're
in an open relationship.
Well, together, But and that's the thing. No, you're not. I mean, they can go and play with whoever they want. You know what I mean? It's not going to slow me down. If it does start to slow me down, then they're going to have to go and get find somebody that's going to keep it going at the speed that needs to be to get us somewhere. But anyways, yeah, it's just like people that piss me off or disappoint me, they just make me do more epic shit. It's like
Exactly.
oh, really? You think that's gonna bum me out or upset me or slow me down? You think you're fucking with me? Watch this. Like, and then I'll just set my sights a little bit higher and try a little harder, and that's really all it takes. Really, is aim for the stars and just fire off as hard as you can, and you just look back at where you landed, and you'd be surprised.
You
what
can't
you
do
can accomplish.
epic shit with less than epic people.
Right. I think Johnny's epic. He is. He's
epic in his own mind.
Well, again, I don't want to. I like to be cool with everybody.
Yeah.
I
But
do.
as a manager, as a band manager, I draw the line at not showing up.
Yeah.
You have to show up. You have to, it's a band, and you can't go on stage. You can't do sound check. You can't rehearse if not all of the members are there. So if one person misses, it affects the entire band. So, that makes you a less than epic person in my book.
Wow.
And I'm good friends with him. And I have mad love for him and respect for him as a musician and a person, and, but show up.
Well, he'll find something that he'll feel strongly enough about at some point, and he will show up. You know what I mean? It's just that wasn't his time. Budderside wasn't his vessel to do it with, and it's a shame because I dumped so much money into just the advertising for our band. I think he looks great. He brought a lot of a certain kind of energy to the band that I felt was very necessary, and it's heartbreaking because you have to throw a lot of those materials away and you can't use them anymore because, you want to stay updated and everything else. So it's just like, they're learning experiences. So, now if I don't know, it's just, you learn, you live and you learn, and you keep going. And
Now you have new energy in the band.
yeah.
And
We've,
nothing is going to stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you, Turtle. Nothing's going to stop you.
Yeah, I have no
You-
choice.
you are-
I don't believe in choice.
No,
it's
but
like,
seriously, you're destined to be on stage and do comedy. You're destined for that, but you stop yourself all the time. And as creative people, you have to just keep doing it. Just, more material, more
Yeah.
writing, and all of our listeners out there, if you want to go someplace in your life, if you have a dream, then never stop believing in that dream. And just because people tell you that, you don't have the talent, or, they try to badmouth you, don't listen to them, because in your mind, in your world, you are epic, and, just show up for it.
I think too, a lot of it has to do with, there's this Steve Harvey thing that I saw, and his whole thing is jumping. He's like, you have to jump. You have to cut things out and just say, if this is what I want to do, and you have to stop at nothing and do it, and just take that leap into whatever you want to do without hesitation. You're not going to know what's going to happen, but you just have to do that. Take that leap. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I have to make that leap. Granted, this leap took a little longer than what I thought, but I made a date for that leap.
Great.
So it's like, okay, great. I'm going to take a jump and I'm going to do it. Granted, it's premeditated jump, but at least I made it, to do that instead of just, because I'm, a lot of people are like, man, you should have just quit. And I was like, no, I'm not a quitter. Like, if I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave on great terms. I'm not going to just be these like, I'm out of here. I don't know. I don't think that's a very polite way to leave. You should always, regardless of whatever you do, should always leave on good terms. So.
Yeah, always leave everybody feeling better than they did before.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
or bloody.
Or bloody. Yes.
That's Max's
That's
thing.
Max.
No, mine.
Yeah, you and Snowman would get along perfectly.
Just lead them believing.
Right.
That's it.
So thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you
Thank you.
came on. It's been forever and a day since I saw you. So seeing you again, it was just like, yes. And then Max told me that you were coming on, and I was like, fuck yeah. I was really excited. So,
Yeah,
very
it's
cool.
Super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually
Thank
wrote
you.
that word
Yeah.
on my text.
Yes.
And I was like, oh,
I was like, fuck yeah.
bad words on my text.
Do we any plugs? Any last minute plugs that we need to? Any?
Very thankful to Motorhead Music. Very thankful to Jay Baumgardner who's taking us in. Marshall Amplification. Love my stuff. ESP guitars. Bass player uses Marvin guitars. Big shout out. I don't know. Could plug all day, man. A lot of people are really good to us. It's
Right.
just so thankful that people believe in Budderside, and there's more coming. It's just so much cool stuff happening for us. So we're super excited. Please follow us on Instagram, at Budderside. All of our handles are Budderside, BUDDERSIDE. So if you look that up, nobody else is crazy enough to call their band that. So we're the only one you'll find, and we're on Facebook and everything else. So reach out, say what's up, check out our videos. We got new stuff coming. A lot of fun to be had.
Very cool. Max?
Oh, I never have shouts, do I? Films. Go see my films. They're out, right? What
Sure.
do I have out? I
You
can't
got the
even think
Wendigo.
Yes,
You got
the Wendigo is
the-
on Grindsploitation for Trauma. That is out. Death House is in theaters now and doing really, really well. It's awesome. It's got like all of the horror icons of all time in this. Danny Trejo, all of them. Everybody's in it, and honored to be part of that cast. Hell's Kitty. Interesting thing about Hell's Kitty. I don't know if you know this, but I went in to film this thinking it was a television show, and then it became a film, and I was like, oh, all right, it's a film now, and bought and out and being played and getting amazing reviews, and the reports just came out for the top 25 horror films of 2018, and I have 2 films in the top 25. So
Nice.
I'm like, psh, All right.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's why I leave him bleeding. Also, what else do I have? Oh, Astro is coming out. Go look at the trailer for that. It's on, you can, I believe, see it on my page, which is maxwasaofficial.com. You can check that out. Or on the Astro page or Instagram or Facebook or any of those mumbo jumbo things. Or on sci-fi.com, they are also running it. And go see my bands. Please go see my bands because they work really hard. And, you know, there's nothing like having people in the audience when you play, right?
Oh, yeah.
So real quick, Crash Karma is in Finland. Actually, they're in Sweden today. They were in Finland yesterday, and now they're in Sweden. So Crash Karma, brand new band to me. I'm very excited to be working with them. Boy Hits Car, about to record their 6th album. 6. It's pretty badass. Brian Steele Medina and Meeks over at Gemini Syndrome are writing, and Aaron and all the boys. Nick Mason's playing with everybody. RJ is up for a Hawaiian Grammy, and we're very, very proud of him. RJ Kineo. Absence Project is recording, and that's about to be released. Mystery School, the boys from Alien Ant Farm are in Mystery School and doing this little side project, and it's badass. So please go check that out. Daniel Knight is recording. Ty Fury's out with Chris Young. Michael Grant, stay tuned because we got some big things happening with Michael. You know, we don't need no LA Guns. We don't need you.
A huge shout out to LA Guns, though, man. Awesome dudes.
Yeah, we love them, and especially Tracy. I friggin' love Tracy.
Love those
like
guys, man.
you know, he's my heart. But Michael's got big things, and
Michael's awesome too.
Rightly so. So all of that. Shout out to Ty Runyon and everything he's got going on with Versailles and his music. We're very excited about that. Happy birthday to Christine Corbett, who is also in starring in Astro with me, and she's Scott Wilson from Saving Abel's fiance, and she owns Sunshine Studios in Colorado Springs. So if you're in Colorado Springs, check out that studio, see some live music there, or you know, go in and record. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to Sherry Davis and my mommy.
There it is.
And please, you know,
Oh, yes.
with our
If you guys like coffee, we have Coffee to Die For, Deadly Grounds. Go check them out. I finished it a while ago, but I did like 20 cups, so I was like, I need to stop. Otherwise, I will be dead.
I had 1 cup. I'm wired.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
GetDeadly.com. Make sure to go check them out. I'll have the link on entertheshell.com. And, of course, Tio Guspacho. That Max threw a party, didn't invite me. And, of course,
you didn't invite him.
He
was working.
she had nothing but Tio Guspacho everywhere. So I missed out.
You did.
But just because I missed out doesn't mean you
Bunch of
have
hot
to.
girls
Yeah, of course.
in yoga pants.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
So go make sure you go check them out. Tio Guspacho, delicious.
As long as we're plugging people, Sam's Hofbrau downtown, Ultimate Topless Entertainment. Check it out. My
is
best
that?
friends down there. Sam's Hofbrau. You ever been there?
No.
You should come.
Well, you should.
You'd like it. Yeah.
Can we film? Can we film in there?
You can do whatever you want in there.
what?
Wow.
Literally anything you want.
Whoa.
Anything
Really?
goes.
We
No,
could-
it's the coolest. It's
we
like
could film in
legendary. Quentin Tarantino's filmed his movies there, and you know the guys from Jackass come in and do crazy stuff, and you know, Mayweather's down there all the time. It's a good hang, man. It's cool. It's cool as hell.
Very
Nice.
cool.
And there's naked girls.
And there's naked girls.
Well, I mean,
Who doesn't
There's
like
that.
naked girls?
Eden Feldman
And good
likes
food.
naked girls.
You know, you can have a cheeseburger while you're checking out some
I-
chicks.
I'd be like, is this sanitary?
Yeah.
You
I
know
don't
what?
care.
think
Eat it.
the strip clubs have like the best food, right?
Sometimes. This one does. This one definitely does. Yeah.
There's a strip club that I used to go to, and it wasn't because of the chicks. is because they had the greatest deal I'd ever seen in my entire life, which was a burger and fries, and you got a bottle of domestic beer for $3.25.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't care
That's
about the
pretty
chicks.
cheap.
Yeah.
That's like cheaper than
really
the grocery store.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. And so, like, I was just going there just for that. You know what I mean? I was
Sure you were.
sure.
no, seriously. I was like, you can't beat this deal. This is insane. And I'd be like, I'll take 2 orders. I can't even finish the food, but I'm like, just the price of beer alone. I was like, worth it.
Nice.
So very cool.
Also, a shout to Here Gear and Here Gear Technologies. Thank you for hooking me up with all of my front of house and studio equipment. I love it, love it, love it. Nuex, all my pedals and other various
Trinkets.
trinkets of sorts.
And lastly, if you want to come hang out with me, June 23rd, I will be at the Airliner Club right here in LA for filming webisodes. So come check me out. I'll be dealing with all the bands, interviewing them, and then I will be interviewing some painters and sculptors and stuff like that. This year's theme is like aliens and stuff like that. I'm still trying to figure it. It all just came out today, so I'm still like trying to figure
You
everything
should
out.
wear some, like an Astro t-shirt.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you
Great
give
idea.
me one, I mean, yeah.
Oh, I have to
Or
get
the
'em.
Budderside
Size-
T-shirt.
Yeah, all right.
It's very
Yeah, that's-
safe, cybernetic future.
Is it?
There you
Sci-fi.
go.
Yeah,
kind of stuff,
I mean, hook me up with a small. I'm down. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And,
Also, you know what? We need to thank Jake Rowenhouse for our artwork that's in all of our pictures.
yes,
You know, because
everyone always asks us.
Yes, so it's Jake Rowenhouse,
Yes, thank you so much.
the master artist.
So yes, so look for me there. All this brought to you by Hazy Chaos. So I will have the banner and the link up. Hopefully by the time you listen to this. So thank you again, and you can see all the musicians and all the bands that will be performing. It's going to be really big. So thank you so much. Thanks again to Patrick for coming on and just being a great soul in general. And Budderside with 2 D's. Double D's.
Yep.
Budderside.com. Did you do that on purpose? Is that why?
Not at all.
No? Okay.
Man. It was a fluke. I was trying to rhyme something with genocide and said Budderside, and we were recording it and listened back, and they were like, "Dude, you said Budderside." And I was like, "That's the name of the band. How you like that?"
Yeah.
And we're stuck.
So Budderside.com will have all the links on entertheshell.com. That's going to do it for us. Should be an interesting time for all of us in our lives. So I'm glad that we get to share our experiences with you. You go out, have some experiences. We'll go out, have a few of our own, and then we'll come back and share those experiences. What song are we leaving with? Most importantly,
I sent you 3, I think. So we've gone through those. There's let's see. I mean, the whole. Did I get you? I sent you the whole record, right?
yeah,
You got okay. So you got the whole thing. Go for "You Can't Rap." Nobody ever hears that one. It's a beautiful ballad. Cellos, violins. It's just got piano. It's romantic.
Okay, there it is. I mean, this is going to be a romantical month, I'm sure. So thank you again, Patrick, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Always a pleasure seeing you. Let's not have you come back in like another 2 years. Like you don't have to wait 2 years or something.
Right.
You can always
Well,
come
now I
back.
know where you live. So you're
Yeah. What do you mean? This is a set. What are you talking-
right. I'm gonna come up here and act.
Right.
I do have a resume.
Very cool. Okay, so that's going to do it for the Tortoise The Hare Experience. We are out of here later.